We're impatiently waiting for the third season of Stranger Things to be released, and we're not the only ones. The newest season is set to come out on Netflix in July of 2019, and fans aren't wasting any time in coming up with wild theories.
10 o'clock.
What?
10 o'clock.
Watch until the end to find out what Back to the Future and Stranger Things have in common. All about the poster. Fans are bustling with happiness at the confirmation of Stranger Things' third season, and with good reason too. It's been over a year since the second season was released, leaving plenty of time for fans to speculate on what's to come. Instead of dismissing their wildest theories, the Duffer brothers are choosing to add fuel to the fire by releasing some pretty confusing evidence. For the time being, we have more than enough to crack the code, but only time will tell if we've managed to come up with some worthy evidence. To rile us up, a short and eerie video was posted online, and it displayed every single episode the Stranger Things cast has been working on. With 8 frightening titles to sift through, it's a wonder that anyone's managed to get some sleep. On top of that, Netflix also released a short teaser as well as a promotional image, which has caused fans to look for clues in the most unlikely of places. The series is set to air on America's Independence Day, which could very well be the reason behind the fireworks we see in the promotional image. And curiously enough, the words "one summer can change everything" are displayed at the top of the poster. This sentence leads us to believe that the third season will take place in the summertime instead of focusing on the kids during their school year. 11, Mike, Will, Lucas, Max, and Dustin can easily be spotted out. However, only 11 and Will's eyes are turned towards the viewer. This poster is the cause for many unanswered questions, and it's only going to get worse from here.
We need to go. Mike! Now!
The episode titles. Although most series wait until their release date to display the season's episodes, the Duffer brothers aren't wasting any time. In fact, they've chosen to give us some tiny spoilers to tie us over.
Why didn't you tell us before?
I wasn't sure.
So it's a coincidence.
Or not.
So let's take a look at what we've been given. First on the list is the episode Susie, Do You Copy?, which will be the first episode of the season. This seems to be a strange title, especially since the only character named Susan is none other than Max's mom. Second on the list is the episode The Mallrats, which hints towards our favorite teens spending a lot of time at the Hawkins Mall. Although hanging out at the mall is a normal thing for teens to do, there's nothing normal about the Starcourt Mall. Next up is the case of the missing lifeguard, which makes us turn a curious eye towards water in general. Following these episodes are the ones titled The Sauna Test, The Source, The Birthday, The Bite, and The Battle of Starcourt. From what we gather, the season will begin and end at the Starcourt Mall, where a new threat is said to be lurking underneath the ground. Say goodbye to love triangles. It's no secret that Mike and 11 have had a shaky start, which is why fans are eager to see the couple come to life before their eyes. Sadly, there's nothing like a love triangle to keep views at an all-time high. Knowing this, fans are taking to Reddit to express how much they don't want Mike and 11's relationship to falter. But since Mike and 11's relationship is one of the biggest selling points for children their age, a love triangle has been ruled for good. In fact, the show's executive producer Sean Levy recently told CNN Entertainment that the third season of Stranger Things would showcase Mike and 11's relationship as well as Max and Lucas's. All in all, it looks like love triangles will be ruled out for good.
You won't lose me.
Do you promise?
So despite being used to the Nancy, Steve, Jonathan merry-go-round, this too should come to an end. On top of that, Joyce is freshly single after tragically losing Bob. So this leaves room for Hopper to step in. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's find out what the wild theories are that have been brewing on the internet. Theory 1. The Spider. The Mind Flayer goes by many names, which can make it hard to pinpoint. Whereas some of us know him as the Shadow Monster, others have called him the Spider for obvious reasons. Although Season 2 of Stranger Things had us believing that the Upside Down was closed once and for all, hints of the Spider's arms can be seen poking around the edges of the Season 3 poster. In this poster, we see a handful of clues that are hard to decipher with just one look. But upon deeper examination, it looks like something is coming for the coolest gang in town. In this poster, we see a scared-looking 11 looking at what appears to be the head of a spidery foe. Funny enough, Will is the only other character who is looking the monster's way. Could this be hinting at the fact that only Will and 11 have the power to see their newest enemy? If so, this poses a huge threat for the other members of the gang. Some fans speculate that the entire poster is seen through a monster's point of view, which makes more than a little sense. While Lucas, Max, and Dustin are in the background enjoying the fireworks, Will and 11 are seeing something else entirely. In this poster, we see Mike staring at 11 as as she turns to take a look at what's behind her. The first episode that's set to air is Susie Do You Copy, which could hint towards a police officer going missing during a Hawkins festivity. Could it be that there's a new monster in town? One that can only be seen by people who have ties to the Upside Down? If so, Hawkins is in more danger than ever.
Are you okay?
Theory 2. The rats have eyes. Is there anything more disgusting than rats? We don't think so. But that didn't stop producers from placing rats all over their new Stranger Things poster. And since nothing is a coincidence, fans believe that rats will pose a threat to humans and animals alike. It's no secret that rats carry diseases and hide in sewers and underground tunnels, which could make them easy prey for any upside-down creatures lurking below. The presence of rats makes us think about laboratories and testing facilities. After all, Hawkins knows a little too much about these kinds of organizations.
I don't know. It's hard to explain.
There are 2 theories surrounding rats that are worth exploring. The first one being that an upside-down creature will be infecting rats with its DNA with hopes of contaminating anyone who comes in contact with them. This could shed some light on the episode titled The Bite, which could very well follow a Hawkins resident's transformation after they've been bitten by a rat. Another theory surrounding these critters are lab rats as a whole. As many of you know, 11 and a handful of other children were used as lab rats during their youth. And while the experiments they suffered gave them powers, it also caused them pain and loss. Some fans believe that the rats are being used as a metaphor for these children, and that many of Eleven's brothers and sisters will be making an appearance come season 3. And if this is true, it could very well mean that Eleven's papa is coming back to Hawkins for his prized possession. After all, it was confirmed that he was still alive at the end of season 2. Theory 3. Fireworks. We're so used to seeing our favorite gang down in the dumps that seeing them happy makes us feel uneasy. After all, they tend to have a lot on their plate. So despite there being a cause for celebration, it seems as though these friends aren't out of the woods just yet. The Stranger Things poster might have fireworks in the background, but there seems to be a bigger threat at hand. On top of that, the Stranger Things teaser clearly showcases a New Year's celebration gone wrong. There's a fan theory brewing that just might shock you, and it goes a little something like this. Whatever monster is terrorizing Hawkins enjoys crowds and might be feeding off their energy to reopen the Upside Down. 11 made it clear that closing the Upside Down took a lot of energy, which is why she nearly died from exhaustion. So could it be that an invisible monster with a huge and spidery shadow is seeking out crowds to undo her actions? This could explain why the monster made an appearance during Independence Day as well as New Year's Day, and it could also shine some light on the episode titled The Birthday. Although we have little to no detail about the 6th episode of the season, we can only imagine that festivities will be cut short for a good reason. It's possible that this spooky monster is blind as well, and that he uses rats as a means to eavesdrop on the outside world. Should this be the case, it would make sense that he's attracted to larger crowds since loud music and voices can be heard from a distance. But for now, this is all purely theoretical. Theory 4. Blue and yellow. Everything that comes attached to Stranger Things has a creepy vibe to it, which is why we're not surprised that one of its teasers gave us the heebie-jeebies. In this clip, we see what appears to be a live broadcast of New York's Times Square during the New Year's countdown.
30 seconds and the Big Apple will drop, and that is one of the biggest crowds we've ever.
Throughout this video, bouts of green coding flash across the screen with some questionable words and sentences attached to it. At some point, we even hear what appears to be Mike shouting Eleven's name. Dedicated Stranger Things fans used Morse code to decipher one of the images, which led them to discover the phrase, "When blue and yellow meet in the west." This puzzling sentence has us grasping for answers in all the wrong places, but fans came to the conclusion that Mike and 11 are tied to these colors. In fact, 11 is seen wearing blue in the poster, whereas Mike can be found wearing yellow. So what does this mean? For now, we're inclined to believe that the crew will be taking a road trip to the coast, where they can investigate a missing persons case. And since the 3rd episode of the season is titled The Case of the Missing Lifeguard, we can only imagine that this episode will touch down on our speculations. By now, we all know that the Upside Down isn't a fan of fire, but we haven't the slightest clue how it will fare in the open waters. Could it be that an Upside Down creature has found its way into a body of water where it's infecting everyone who drinks or swims in it? For now, we're inclined to believe that blue might signify water and yellow the sun. And since the sun sets in the west, perhaps this clue points towards the horizon. Theory 5. The countdown. The Duffer brothers were inspired by old 80s movies when creating the Stranger Things series, so it's not surprising that they'll be drawing inspiration from some of the decade's biggest hits. Executive producer Sean Levy hinted towards the third season taking a page from the Back to the Future film, which first aired in the summer of 1985. And coincidence or not, the third season of Stranger Things also takes place during the very same summer. Many fans are inclined to believe that Stranger Things will focus on time travel this time around. This could explain why the season's teaser took place on New Year's Eve while the poster proudly showcased the 4th of July. Could it be that the Stranger Things gang has to travel through time to stop the Mind Flayer from settling down on Earth? If so, we can't wait to see what the timeline has in store for us. The final episode of the third season is titled The Battle of Starcourt, which makes us believe that the Hawkins Mall will be the focal point of that time-traveling operation. And what better way to turn back the hands of time than for Eleven to use the mall's huge water fountain as ammo? So, there you have it. The top 5 most mind-blowing Stranger Things theories we have yet to encounter. Although theories are bound to change as more information is released, the first round of theories seems pretty darn convincing. So, which theory seems most likely from your point of view? Let us know in the comments below. And that's a wrap. If you love Stranger Things as much as we do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for our newest videos to come your way. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on The Things.